great. We all had plans afterwards to take a little bit of a break. You know, that all went anywhere. We had to go to Italy, and we had to play them twice in Italy and at home. And I came in probably 5 minutes after the game, and we were pushing up. I mean, we had probably at least 10 shots in 5 minutes. I mean, it was crazy. So, I mean, yes, I was the one who scored, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't me, it was this team, you know, it was the fight, and like, just, you know, that we never give up. It just shows. We never do. In the Brazil game and the Italy game, and there's just so many times I can say, you know, that we've never given up and how much we believed in this team. And so that game was an interesting game, but we're glad we went off and qualified.
Pia Sundari, our coach, is from Sweden, and she doesn't really understand the whole American mentality. She's trying, and she's trying, but it gets lost in translation quite a bit. But she, one of the things that surprises her most about this team is the winning attitude that she thinks mostly is involved in American teams. You know, you don't see that with the Swedish teams, you don't see that really in the European teams, but it's that fight till the end, till the final minute. And we keep surprising her because we keep making her nervous. We let games go on and on and on. You know, we're behind a goal or we're tied. And then we wait till the final minutes to score 2 goals. In our last game, last week, in Dallas, oh my gosh, what did we say? Thank you.
New Zealand.
I almost said Iceland.
You did win.
You guys are watching, good. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, we didn't play our best game. It was pretty sloppy. One of the worst games that I had seen our team play. And to be quite honest, we all know I'm brutally honest, we didn't deserve to win. But we fought to the end, and we made it an exciting match for the fans. In the last 10 minutes, we pushed for a goal. And it was that American winning attitude to find a way, somehow, some way to win, even if it's not pretty, even if it's against the game plan. You know, we try and focus on our possession, but at the end of the game, if we're behind, it's like 5 people on the front line, and you're just kicking the ball over the top. It's not pretty, but we find a way to win.
So share with everybody what your schedule is like right now. Everybody's kind of chuckling. You didn't know where you were in Columbus, Ohio, by the way. But share with everybody what your schedule is like, because I don't know that everyone appreciates what it takes in preparation for the Olympics.
Well, our schedule is pretty busy. Like Hope said a little bit ago, we're 5 months out till the Olympics, so it's, you know, games every month. I don't know how many games we have. Pia went through it all. This many days left, this many games, this many minutes, everything. We do that every camp, and I think that, you know, it's usually like 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and, you know, practicing nonstop. And Pia loves us to be competitive, so we have to give it our all, practice every single day, and recover ourselves to be able to, you know, train at the highest level every day. But it's definitely a vigorous schedule, and even when we're off, we're not off. We have our own training programs to follow. So it's, you know, it's definitely the most busiest time of the year, you know, right now and then before the World Cup last year.
So after this break, you head off to Algarve Cup in Portugal, yes? How long are you in Portugal?
We'll be in Portugal for 17 days. We'll have, let's see, three games of group play, and then semifinal and final. You know, we have, it's a great tournament, by the way. It's one of the best tournaments. We go every single year. After that, I think we have about 10 days off, which is, Pia was nice. She gets 10 days instead of 1 week. And then I think we get on a flight and head to Japan, and we play Japan, and we, actually we're playing Japan for the first time since the World Cup in Portugal, but then we're taking a trip to Japan for their fans, and we have a game against Brazil and Japan. I think we leave on the 20th after we get back from Portugal. Then I think we have another week off. We head to Sweden for another couple of games, and we probably have a couple of domestic games before I take off to the Olympics, but literally right before we know it, the Olympics are going to be here just like that. And every camp is double days, video, film sessions, weight training, fitness, you know, too many meetings to account for. It's a full-time job. I actually had somebody sit next to me at the airport, or on the airplane. He asked me, so what do you do for a living? And I was like, why are you guys laughing? I'm going to tell the story.
But that's funny.
You should know who you are.
Oh, that's funny. No. I think it's funny because, I get asked a question and then I say, well, I play soccer. And they're like, oh, who do you play soccer for? And I'm like, I play for the U.S. team. And they're like, oh, that's cool, that's awesome. So you want to the Olympics? I'm like, yeah, I want to the Olympics. And then the next question is, so what do you do for a living? How do you make money? And I'm like, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. We put in tons of hours every single day. And I think a lot of people think that, we're stuck in the old days where Olympics are still amateurs. But, the sport has come so far, and we've put in a ton of generations of hard work to get to the point where we can play professionally, just for your U.S. team, and make a good living. But keep in mind, once we come back from these tournaments, once we come back from Portugal, once we come back from, where did I say? Japan. Once we come back, we still have a job to promote the game, promote the sport. Alex is doing photo shoots, she's doing commercials. But keep in mind, it's not But the point is you do a lot outside of the game to keep elevating the sport and keep getting to a point where women can now have professional day jobs on the soccer field.
All right, since you brought it up. Segue, right? It's one of college kids' favorite word, naked. Right? Let's go about this way. First of all, what did you think of Hope's poses, shall we say, without body? Yes. She's young and impressionable, and it seems like she's all over the years.
Hope looks beautiful, and I do think that gardening one is a little weird though. I don't know, I like the cover where you're like, yes. I like that one a little bit better because it shows off your body a little bit better. And the gardening one is like,
She is being really awkward right now.
Last time you even gardened, let alone garden naked.
You're investing me right now. Can I tell the story?
Okay, do you want to tell your story?
Or no fun.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
that's something.
So, ESPN does a lot for the game, yada, 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 yada. They promote women's sports, women's soccer. I love what they do with ESPN, the body shot, especially the specific magazine they have once a year. So anyways, I support ESPN. I really want to support the female athletic body type, which is what ESPN does. And going into the photo shoot, I was really nervous, but they keep things really professional. They keep about 8 people on the set, completely naked. But the amazing thing is I was trying to stay true to the athlete that I am. On the cover shot, you will see the exact form that I use when I drop kick. So I drop off and I kick. So I'm literally covered up in the way I would do a drop kick. And I'm really proud of the female athletic body, and as we all should be, and I think it should be celebrated. So then,
I think they've celebrated.
against everything I believe in, they told me they're doing this domestic shot with every athlete as well. They're doing the athletic version and then the domestic version. So the guy comes over and he hands me a hose and he says, stand along. I did it for maybe a second, literally maybe a second, with this annoyed look on my face. And then I threw the hose down and I was like, that's not for me. That is not for me. And it made the mess.
It was being awkward because I knew that story, and yeah, you look good gardening, but
Okay, so let's turn the tables. Hope, what did you think of the body paint? And then we'll get the stories. I think there's a great story behind it.
I think it's amazing. I stand true to really marketing the athlete first, and I stand strong with that. So I think she looks amazing. I think she's beautiful. I'm happy it's with Sports Illustrated. It's awesome. It's red, white, and blue. It's very celebrating the Olympic Games. But I'm serious. It's staying true to the sport, and I think that's important in women's sports to do because at some point you can become the Anna Kournikova who, let's all be honest, she's not that great at tennis.
I just got that on video.
Sorry. So anyways, I think you pick and choose what you do, and I think both Alex and I really try to stay true to the athlete inside of us.
So tell us, what was body paint in red, white, and blue like?
well, body paint was uncomfortable. I was completely naked and had to look at myself every 5 seconds in the mirror to make sure I had something on. Paint, you know. But, you know, it was so weird that when they first started to paint, they had the airbrush, you know, the areas. So they actually had me in a reverse mummy, if you know what that means. It's like, they paper toweled me everywhere except for the areas. And then they airbrush, so it was like, reverse mummy was really weird. But it was the longest day of my life. If you haven't heard about body paint before, it takes about anywhere between 8 to 12 hours, and mine took 14 hours. Yeah, it was like probably a 17-hour day. It was a really long day. But I'm happy with the results, and I agree with Philip. I mean, you know, I want to promote, you know, an active lifestyle, and I think that, you know, there's nothing for the bodies. You know, we work hard every day. Our bodies reflect that, and you know, I'm happy to do it for Sports Illustrated because I think they do promote, you know, healthy living lifestyles, and all the models, you know, they're not super skinny like on the runway. You know, they're just normal girls who work out and have great bodies. So I was really happy to do it.
Was there any backlash for either one of you, either from your families, your friends, or your grandmothers, or anyone? Sort of gave you the, oh no, you did not.
My 85-year-old grandma had me sign it. I think I'll go back.
So no back.
Well, mine just came out, so not too much yet, but we'll see about it. Like, come family reunion time.
All right, so let's change gears. In your spare time, Hope, last fall, you were Dancing with the Stars. Share with us a little
Show
bit.
us some moves.
Yes. your nice dancing shoes on there. Now, tell me a little bit about that experience and how does that relate to your training as a soccer player?
Oh, wow. One of the most bizarre things I've ever done. It's reality television at its best, and I was very naive going into something like that. I'm grateful that I did it. I met some amazing people and had some amazing experiences and can do a good Argentine tango, you know, and it was fun. It was, I learned a lot, and Max and I continue to be great friends. We go to dinner when I'm in New York City and things like that. But honestly, I was naive going into an experience like that. I just thought the competitor in me, I can work hard and you'll see results. But in reality, it's a lot about the personality that you project on television. It's a lot of it's scripted. And that was frustrating going into it because, you know, they knew where they were going from day one with the show. But, you know, they wanted to portray me as a competitive athlete and Max as the bad boy at the ballroom. And so really there'd be 7 hours of rehearsal and 6.5 hours of it, Max and I would be having an amazing time and laughing and bantering. And then 30 minutes we'd be frustrated and I'd like kick the wall and curse. And that's all they would show. So that was hard. I told my grandma, I really don't curse all that much in the ballroom. Maybe on the soccer field. But it was
reality show that you could be a part of, what would you pick?
I think it would be, only because I love Trump, and he has had some contact with me, but it doesn't really work out in the schedule. But Celebrity Apprentice, I think, would be fun. I've never had a day job in my entire life. I'd probably be the first to get the boo. It'd be fun.
How about you, Alice? Is there a reality show that you'd like to be a part of?
I would love to be a part of that. I'm forgetting the name right now. It's The Race. Is it called?
Amazing
Amazing
Race.
Race. Yes. I would love to be a part of that with my dad. We're the two most competitive people, so I think it'd be quite interesting and entertaining.
Excellent. Okay, so back on a college campus, you both are. If you could rewind and go back to Washington, go back to Cal, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
I don't remember that far back. I do want to take the opportunity real quick to just thank all of you for welcoming us here. And, I haven't been back on even the University of Washington's campus for quite some time. So it's really bringing me back to my roots where it all began, where it all started, where I really grew that passion for the game and the appreciation for the game. So I'm so honored and happy to be here, and I know I can speak for Alex when I say that we were excited to have this opportunity to speak to all of you. And I know eventually we'll open up to questions to you guys, and I can't wait to hear what you all have to say and kind of your thought process, because I have no idea what background what it's like to be a college student athlete or student anymore. But I think, so thank you. But I think going back, oh gosh, I was naive back then, I was 18 to 21, and I thought I knew it all, but I grew so much in my later 20s, and really kind of figured out who I was. So I think looking back, I wish I just, I don't know, I really asserted myself more. I think I asserted myself on the soccer field greatly, and it took me a while to assert myself in the classroom. And looking back, I wish I had those days back, because, college comes, just once in your life, and that's it. And I wish I could go back, and I wish I really studied harder. I'm not saying I didn't get good grades, I did fine, but I think I could have done a lot more with that side of my life as well.
I agree. I was actually thinking the same thing. I think that, I could have been a little more proactive with my classes, and I think that, I could have gone to class a little bit more.
Great goals.
No, I also thought,
My team needs to stop listening right
I got good grades as well, but, both soccer and school was a priority back then, and soccer, is the number one priority now, but I think that I should have done a little bit more, I should have been better at balancing, academics with my soccer. I think that, I just looked forward a little bit too much, and, I'm glad I'm happy where I am right now, but, you miss college homes here,
And you realize just how much was offered out to you with the amount of different courses that there are. All your academic advisors. There's so much for you guys to do, and so much that I had the opportunity to do. And I was 5 kind of short of getting my econ major, and because of soccer, I ended up never getting it and getting my communications major. Nothing wrong with communications, but I worked my entire college year for the econ. And it's not just that; it's soccer really didn't rule my world in college, and there's so many things outside of soccer, not just classes and your education, but obviously, getting involved in the community and charity work and just living the college life more. And I didn't even do that. I was so worried about making the national team that I was like, I can't go out, I can't party, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I think I just wish I just was an average college student again.
So you mentioned charity work, and I remember an interview that I had with you. Actually, it was in Dallas that we had this interview. You were in between teams. You were with St. Louis, and they folded, and you were waiting to get picked up by Atlanta and have your contract negotiations done. And it was while the Men's World Cup was going on. What did you do for that 2 weeks that you had off in that summer?
Well, I only spent 1 week in South Africa. I went to the Men's World Cup for the first time in my entire life, and it was the best thing that I've ever done in my life. Soccer has to some highly HIV-infected communities in South Africa, and we learned a lot about the disease, and we learned a lot from the kids, though. We were there to learn from them. We were there to teach them and teach them everything about AIDS, how they can help their communities to keep it from spreading. And then at the end of the day, I was so choked up, and I'll never forget the way those kids touched my lives. And some of them only had a few months to live, yet they lived every day, every bit of enthusiasm and passion that you can imagine. I'll never forget those days and those moments. And I spent 7 days with them, and they truly touched my life forever.
And Alex, have you gotten into some of the community service work yet? What's the organization that you support?
Yeah, well, I've done a few things here and there, but we, Hope and Abby, all went to the Bank of America Chicago Marathon, and Bank of America was generous enough to give us $5,000 to donate to any charity of their choice, and so I'm really passionate about animals, and I'm really against animal cruelty and any and all of the above at that category. So I decided to donate to ASPCA. They're pretty countrywide organization to prevent cruelty of animals. So that's something that I've been involved in. There's a few other things, but I'm still very young and learning, and I hope to get more involved, the next year or so.
So let's transition to another topic that I think affects college students a lot: social media. As a professional athlete, social media can be your best friend and also your worst enemy. You guys have the experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, with Twitter, Facebook, or even just the media in general.
Hope can speak.
It's a crazy phenomenon, the whole aspect of social media. If you rewind back to 2007 when I got kicked off the team, the only reason why it had an effect on globally is because of social media. It spread like wildfire, my interview, and next thing you know, it was the #1 talked about news, not just sporting news, but news, for I think 2 days straight. I've had a lot of experiences. It doesn't necessarily affect me anymore. I can't let it affect me because there's a lot of crazy people out there, a lot of negativity in the world. But there's also a lot of positive fans and wonderful fans who I really want to continue to be a role model for. But I can assure you, people get on Twitter and they say some of the most evil things you could ever imagine. Yet I've run across thousands of people, in my career at games, and not one person has come to me, to my face, to tell me everything they think about me. So, I think a lot of people hide behind social media, but for me, I try and use it as a tool to really get back to my fans.
I've honestly only been on Twitter and Facebook for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I've seen some of that, and of course I've tweeted or Facebooked, some things that I shouldn't have, and I think that all of us have, but once the media gets a hold of it, it blows up. So there's instances here and there, but I think that you just really need to be careful, and the reason you're on Twitter, you're out there putting your life in the public for everyone to see is, to really just, get the positive feedback and show people that, it's not affecting you, and you're still living your life the way you want, and you want people to see that. But you're going to get that negative feedback no matter what, and you kind of just need to brush it off sometimes. And Hope's right, they're never really going to come up to your face, but when they could hide behind a computer screen or a newspaper or whatever, behind their writing, then that's when all hell breaks loose. So I think that just keep staying true to yourself, and that's what I've tried to do. But it is difficult seeing some things posted on Twitter, Facebook, or in the newspaper that that really does hurt you. Maybe for a second, and you gotta get over it.
I just don't understand the concept of going out of your way and trying so hard to drag somebody down. I mean, do you guys understand it? Who gets on Twitter and calls people out and says evil things? I'll admit it, but I'm sure one or two of us do. I just don't understand the concept. Does anyone understand it? Because I need help.
So, Hope, I don't know that a lot of people are aware of what you went through the year prior to this last World Cup. You had major shoulder surgery. Tell us a little bit about what that year was like, because I know after I interviewed you coming back, you were here in Columbus training, and you talked about how that experience really changed you. What was that year like for you?
Oh gosh. I had trouble with my shoulder for about 3 years. Lots of pain. A couple of wrong diagnoses that made me keep playing. Finally, I knew deep inside me, you know what, this isn't right. This pain is unbearable. I have to get a third opinion. I went to a doctor, got the MRI, and I actually got the MRI on another ligament that is torn as we speak in my arm that I have not gotten fixed. And in the process, he looked at my shoulder and he said, you know what, I'm not worried about your elbow right now, but you need to get your shoulder fixed. And I said, you know what, you're crazy. My elbow is in so much pain right now. This is what I came to get looked at. And he says, trust me, in 2 months, your shoulder, you're going to be done. So fast forward a month later, and I realized that I couldn't go on. And we were about 10 months. Let's see. When was the World Cup?
July.
So yeah, about 10 months